Hey everybody, I'm here with a quick video on the Diddy trial updates. It's really quick because they still did not come to a verdict, but the case is in the jury's hands. They're now deliberating. And listen, already they had a little smoke in that jury deliberation room. Why? Because juror number 25, the alternate that got ushered in when juror number 6 got ushered out of the building, they told the judge, juror number 25 don't seem to know how to comprehend and understand instructions. So they asked the judge to speak to juror number 25 and get juror number 25 straight. And they also dismissed the rest of the alternates. They said, you're good to go home. Your job is done here. Much love, much appreciated. See you later. So now at this point, if they ever decide before they come to a verdict that juror number 25 is just not getting it, the judge has the right to say, you know what? Just let 11 jurors deliberate this case. This case has been interesting from the beginning to the end, to say the least. And now, where you're slowly but surely is trickling in, all of the exhibits are starting to become public. And we have the exhibit of Mia, who is one of Diddy's ex-assistants, who went under the pseudonym Mia, and who also claimed that Diddy violated her. I'll say it like that, right? So they had asked Mia when she was on the stand in real time, for you said somebody violated you, that Diddy violated you at his 40th birthday party, but yet for his 45th, you put this whole scrapbook together talking about you're gonna love him forever and ever and ever. But she explained that away by saying, she was psychologically abused. And that's what made her did it, because he came to her saying he was depressed and sad, and she just wanted to remind him that his life had meaning. Somebody needed to remind her that her life had meaning, and she should have never worked for him after the first assault. But that's a diva thought. Let me go ahead and share a screen so we can get more into this story. Hold on. So Diddy trial, birthday letter from alleged victim. I love you forever and ever. Diddy's offense made a big deal in the court about a scrapbook one of his former assistants who testified Diddy Arta says she made for his birthday. And now we're seeing it for the first time. Happy 45th birthday, Puff Daddy. This ex-assistant took the stand under the pseudonym Mia, testified about making a scrapbook for Diddy's 45th trip around the sun. Diddy's defense attorney, Brian Sills, showed it to the jurors in May and has now been entered into the public record as a defense exhibit. The scrapbook features a glowing letter to Diddy with Mia writing at the end, I love you forever and ever and ever. Now, let me just stop sharing this screen and we'll get to see the letter a little bit closer. Let me see if I got it here. Where do I have it at? I think this is it. Let's share. So, happy 45th birthday, Puff Daddy. Puff, sometimes life goes by at a catastrophic speed where you never get to live and enjoy the now. Things that used to feel unattainable and symbolic of success can become the norm and lose all of the adrenaline and excitement it used to stir up. And life keeps going and going, and each new height reach can lose its celebration moment in the whirlwind of getting to the next goal. All of this to say that I hope on this day you get to sit back and actually take it all in of how much you accomplished, how far you have gone, and are still going. So I put together this book of magazine articles from 1991 to 1999. Now, that's a very intimate thing to do. When you put together from all magazine clippings for almost 10 years of his life, okay, that's 91 to 99, but that's a long time to sit there and be thoughtful and do that. And you doing this for a man that argue, that I hope will stir up nostalgic feelings of when you started and how you felt and what was a dream to you. Then that's how and that's now an everyday reality. Let me see. Let's come down some more. Every day. So yourself can tell your young self how great you become now that now that you'll ever forget your past, but I hope it reminds you of when this world made your eyes light up. Happy, happy birthday. I love you forever and ever and ever. And they covered her real name because she went under the pseudonym Mia, and this was a defense exhibit. Whew, child, listen, this is a lot. And they're ready to put this man away for a ton of years over people who had mixed feelings when they was, involved in his orbit, so to speak. The ex-assistant who took the stand on the pseudonym testified about making a scrapbook for Diddy's 45th trip around the sun. Diddy's defense attorney, Brian Stills, showed it to the jurors back in May, and now it's entered into public record as a defense exhibit. The scrapbook features a glowing letter to Diddy, with Mia writing at the end, "I love you forever and ever and ever." It's spinning there. I want to go back to that so we can hear that piece of it. Diddy's defense grilled Mia about the scrapbook, questioning why she would make a loving birthday tribute to a man she testified R'd and SA'd her. She testified he first assaulted her during his 40th birthday party, and that scrapbook she made was for his 50th. Mia told jurors she made the scrapbook because Diddy had come to her depressed and sad, and she wanted to remind him his life and his successes weren't meaningless. She said she stuck around Diddy after the alleged assaults because of psychological abuse. Listen, even if I stuck around, and even if because this is my boss, so to speak, I gotta save face. Even if I gave a birthday card, but I'm not going to sit there and make a scrapbook and cut out magazine articles for 8 years worth of them, being just, that's very to me personal and loving. I'm not going to do that for somebody who violated me. But this is just interesting how this case just came about and what it's about, and the particular witnesses that the prosecution decided to bring up. Let's take a listen.
Stand as we speak now, being cross-examined by Diddy's lawyers, and a couple of interesting things have come out. What they are trying to show, and this is something that we have heard from the defense in the weeks and months leading up to this trial, is that there is a money motivation by the alleged victims that should put some of their stories, at least, in doubt. There are certain things like the Cassie video
Cassie thing
you can't argue.
Yes, Cassie got a lot of money, but you also...
It's undeniable. You're looking at it right there.
But in the case of
in this video,
as the government calls her, Mia,
who is an ex-employee of Diddy's.
Ex-employee of Diddy's, she has for 2 days now been talking a lot about all of the abuse she says she suffered while she was working for Diddy. And some of that abuse she alleges includes sexual assaults, multiple sexual assaults. But one of the things that came up while prosecutors while she was testifying this morning, prosecutors asked her about a settlement that she got, a settlement when her employment ended for Bad Boy. It's actually Revolt Films that she was working for. That shut down, and then she was unemployed, and she was in negotiations with them, had mediation about a settlement.
Never a lawsuit.
Settlement package.
Never
no
a
lawsuit was filed.
She had asked for $10 million. And ultimately settled for several $100,000.
200,000, I think 200,000 to her, and she said her lawyers got the same amount.
That's right.
So
that's right. It sounds like it was a $400,000 settlement, of which she got $200,000. But you may be asking yourself, why, if you're going for $10 million, would you not play every chip that you have in your favor? And she's testified about multiple instances of sexual assault that she says Diddy perpetrated upon her. But when asked on the stand, did you bring these up when you were looking for negotiating this settlement? She says, no, I'm going to take those with me until I die. So the question will be raised by Diddy's defense counsel is, well, why didn't you raise that? If you're going for $10 million and he's only offering $400,000, you can get it up if you bring more bullets to your negotiation.
So for one thing, I mean, she's a sexual assault victim, according to her, right? So we know that sexual assault victims aren't always that willing to be open about the fact that they are victims of sexual assault.
That's true. Now,
And I know what you're saying about raising, but
hold on. This just so you know, this was a private mediation. So there's no doubt that there was an NDA attached to the mediation and the settlement. This is always the case.
Sure.
So the notion is Diddy is certainly not going to talk about that because it hurts him if he were to talk about that after the settlement. So he'd want to keep that quiet. So she would be protected in terms of this ever getting out to the public.
Not getting out to the public. She's still sitting in a room with a bunch of lawyers.
Let me make this clear. I'm not saying that that you should say, oh, then she must be lying in court. But the issue is a legal issue, that what the defense has to do is create reasonable doubt. The lawyers for the defense are arguing that when the 4 women who are making allegations, the grievances they had were dealt with by civil litigation, not going to the police. Now, again, I'm not saying that I'm buying it. I'm saying this is what they're arguing. And all they have to do is create reasonable doubt where somebody says, you know, I think she's probably telling the truth, but probably isn't beyond a reasonable doubt. That's what the defense is looking for. And it is interesting. Prosecutors raised this with her, knowing that the defense would if they didn't.
So they wanted to get out in front
to blunt
of it,
the issue, to get out ahead of this discrepancy between only getting a small settlement and not pushing the sexual assault allegations. But remember, she's in a criminal context now. She has to testify under penalty of perjury. She has no sort of incentive to lie. She's not going after money in the criminal case, and she has a lot of risk if she lies about the sexual assaults in the criminal case. So a lot of the jurors will know that there's risk if she lied about the sexual assaults now, but before holding them in the civil negotiations, that's not lying or telling the truth. That just may be someone who was traumatized.
So that's interesting. You know, what they said or whatever. I do understand that, but I just still don't understand why you would make a scrapbook. Yes, a birthday card maybe, but a scrapbook to someone who has done such hideous things to you. Listen, we're about to get a tsunami of public evidence now that this case is in deliberations, especially once it is over and we get a verdict. We're probably going to be able to see all the salacious stuff involved in this case. But anyway, guys, that's the letter from Mia. Let me know your thoughts. Chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. Everybody, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Hit the like button. Let me know your thoughts.